Happy Wednesday. It is week 28. And for reference, today is October... What is it today, actually? October 25th. Probably should have been saying the dates all along. It'd be way easier to keep track of these things. But it's October 25th, almost Halloween. And... what is it, 25 or 26 days away from the anticipated first frost date for this region. What has happened since last week? Not a whole ton, actually. It's been chillier. Well, it was warm, really, really warm, and then the temperatures have started to drop. So now I think it's in the 60s. It's been in the 50s. The cold weather things are really liking it. The warm weather things are definitely slowing down. Like, these tomatoes here, last week I went and cleared out that whole section of tomatoes, or maybe it was the week before. This week, this one is pretty close to done. Nothing's really starting to change color anymore. I'm just kind of holding off as long as I can because there's so much of a surplus inside already. But I'm pretty sure this week, or this weekend maybe, I might have to take down this tomato plant here. But in other news, I don't think I made any major changes in the garden this week. It was also really rainy, so I couldn't come out. I did notice on the pumpkins, which are definitely not going to be ready for Halloween, there was that guy right there. So maybe, just maybe, I will get one pumpkin out of this. Maybe. Everyone else isn't looking so hot, and even the leaves are starting to break down and stuff, so I don't quite know, but fingers crossed for that one pumpkin there. Then on the kale front, I have a lot of aphids. I'm pretty sure they're aphids. They're little gnatty kind of things. It's blurry. There we go. I've also picked out this section just to sort of clear up some space and get some light to the Brussels sprouts and the radicchio. The Brussels sprouts are getting bigger, but they're also being eaten, so don't quite know what's going on there. And then the radicchio is growing. If you look in there, there's, well, one tomato is being eaten now that I see that, but there's a whole bunch of plum San Marzano tomatoes in there, and still tons and tons of cherries. I've actually also started to pick in here, which are sort of my wild tomatoes. Not completely wild, but wild enough. They're growing like wild. And I've probably picked a good dozen or so out of here at least. And there's more there. Hi, Penny. Her tail's blocking them. There's more there. There's a bunch more over there. And then I imagine there's a bunch behind the bike, but I haven't been able to get back there yet, so not really sure what's going on. Oh, and there's some more there. And I think there's some more over there. And then over here, there's more plums there and over there. On Facebook yesterday, I posted a picture of the inside surplus of tomatoes, which is kind of insane. There's, by my guess, we have a brown bag that I've just been putting all the tomatoes in, so if I had to pick all of those when they were still green. So basically everything just goes in there, and that bag now weighs 12 pounds of cherry tomatoes. So it's not even like, oh, excuse me. No. Come here. It's not even like, oh, there's 12 tomatoes of beefsteak tomatoes in there. No. 12 pounds of cherry tomatoes. Hundreds of tomatoes. Which explains why I'm holding off on all this. But the celery, now that one thing I did do is sort of adjust the broccoli. This broccoli was sort of growing here, and I just took one of the tomato stakes that's not being used anymore, and I just kind of shifted it over that way. The broccoli is not doing much of anything, and it's being eaten alive, to be honest, but I did want to sort of give some room to the celery here. The tomato, I think, once this tomato plant comes down, that'll be also the next big push for celery life. It's just really crowded out here, and it was fine when I was trying to sort of block it from the sun, but now I wanted to get as much sun as possible because there's not a lot of sun left. But like I said, the broccoli is not doing much of anything. Still being eaten, still no signs of broccoli florets, and actually I think it's cold enough that most of those worms are gone. So at least that's progress, I guess, but no broccoli. So I think, oh, okay, there's one worm left. In my cleanup this weekend, I just may take out these broccoli plants too. I really want to get the leeks in, and I think this will be a good spot for the leeks. So I think the broccoli might go. Alright, then back here we have, what is back here? There's onions, oh, and this broccoli plant is blocking my carrots and onions, which are under here. So these carrots are not ready yet. By date they should be ready, but by growth they're not. So they're just gonna stay there, and I'm gonna leave them in there as long as I can. The beets have gotten a tiny bit bigger. Not much, but enough that I don't think all hope is lost. And then these carrots are still doing their thing. This Brussels sprout is looking better now that all these eggplants are gone. This tomato has grown, this is the cherry tomato plant, has grown all the way from over here and has now started to block the Brussels sprout again. But again, once I start to clean this up over the weekend, I think I'll be able to get some more light to that. And then over here there are two eggplants. Well, there's one right there, and the other one is being blocked. Where are you? Hello? Over there. So there's two eggplants, and I have one on that plant over there. So those are the only eggplants left. And the kale is still kaling. I actually might pull that too, just because there's so many bugs on it. I just might pull it and maybe plant some new kale. I think I still have some seeds. It's probably too late for them to germinate now, though. Kale does apparently like cool weather, so there's a chance. But for the most part, I think the kale's gonna go. We'll see. Then, let's see if I can scooch over this way. Oops. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone over here. This has been a mess to get through. Let's see. 1, 2. Alright, I'm free. Ah, and I took a bunch of kale with me. So then over here, we have the one eggplant I was mentioning. And then this is all done. There's a bunch of radicchio here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plants maybe. I think. They're doing okay. These guys are doing the best. I think I might actually start to just pick some of these to use as lettuce and leave a couple to go to be heads of radicchio. Undecided. I actually don't really like radicchio that much, so I guess it'll be up to my mom because she eats it. Then there's more carrots here. Again, should be ready by date, but not ready by, I guess, size. Let's see. I'm sure if I picked them, they'd be okay, like some of them, but I'd rather let them get bigger, so I'm just gonna leave them in there. And then we have one pepper. Are there any others? I did see some flowers, but I don't think any of them took. There might be one there coming in, but there's at least one pepper, so that's cool. And yesterday, I was just sort of poking around back here. And last week when I checked the radishes, there was absolutely, oops, there's my sleeve, absolutely no sign of radish life. Like, the plants were growing, but it didn't look like there was anything below ground. And then I popped over here, and popped back over there, and I saw something red. You can see there's a patch right there. I saw something red, said, ooh, what is it? So I dug down, I reached down, and I pulled out the first radish. Now, if you look right there, there's a radish, and that is probably half the size of the one I picked. I didn't take a picture of it because I was so excited, but it was probably 3 inches tall by 2 inches wide, or circumference, I guess. No, diameter. It was huge. I'm pretty sure it was one of the German giant radishes, just because it was gigantic. But it also was one with like huge leaves, so there might actually be, this is actually the first time I'm going back here, so let's see. I'm trying not to step on carrots and things. Alright, let's see. There's some poking around. I think that's probably the biggest one there. There's some others I saw yesterday, and there's a couple up there too. I can also see something good going on down there. So I think we're about a week away from the start of a radish harvest, I think. I could start to pick some now, but I kind of want them to get bigger. So I'm just gonna leave them until, let's see, I know I saw one yesterday and I said, oh, let me wait and pick it on the video, but I don't remember which one it was. It might have been this one, but it's still too small. I don't want to pick that one yet. Let's see. No, you guys aren't ready yet. It's also rained, so, oh, there it is. Look at that sucker. For reference, there's my finger. Should I pick it? Ooh, there's another one. Should I pick them? I'll pick one. I'll pick this guy. There we go. Focus. Focus. That's a good looking radish. So there's 5 different varieties in here. Couldn't tell you what's what. I know there's one that's like white tipped. That's a sparkler radish maybe. So that one I can distinguish from all the others. But among the red ones, they all look like red ones. I'm gonna guess this is a German giant just because, oh, I accidentally pulled out some carrot. Just because of how big it is. But I know there's French breakfast radishes in here. There's German giant. There's sparkler or something or others. Excuse me. And 2 others. I can't remember the names. But yeah, the radishes are starting to look good. And hopefully next week there will be tons. Or at least a fun little harvest. And this is the cauliflower also being eaten. I don't know, the leaves are looking okay, but I really don't anticipate getting cauliflower out of it, so I'm just gonna, sorry, more carrots accidentally picked. Just gonna leave it there, see what happens. That's kind of the moral of the story for this fall/winter. So for this week into next week, I think by next week, those tomatoes and broccoli might be gone. Maybe. We'll see. The kale maybe also. Hopefully I'll plant the leeks. And I'm also not going to update over there anymore just because it's just the radishes, the raspberries, and the strawberries, and they're all going into dormancy now. And same with the tower. So unless something crazy happens, I'm not going to update those. Penny's barking at that inflatable. So unless something changes, I won't update those. I'll just kind of keep an eye on what's going on here. All right. Well, that was a short one. A lot less stuff to go over now. So, Penny, come here. Say bye to the video. She's confused. All right. See you next week. Bye.